Good morning. Or is it afternoon already? It's afternoon. I will have you guys out before 5 p.m., okay? I'm driving down the road. It's afternoon, beautiful, hot, sweaty day in Miami. And I get a call from a young lady who says that she found me online. She asked if I did commercial real estate, and I said yes. She said, I like your profile. I'm going to send it to my boss. We're looking for an office. I said, okay, great. I get a call from the gentleman. He starts to ask me questions, and the first question he says is, how many years of experience do you have in commercial real estate? 0. He says, why am I talking to you then? I said, I work with so-and-so. He has 15 years of commercial real estate experience, a master's degree from FIU. We work together. I do residential. He does commercial. And he says, okay, so do I need to talk to him? I said, no. Just tell me what you're looking for. When he has more questions, he'll give you a buzz. This is the first contact, and we'll figure it out. I made $20,000 and didn't do anything. Split the deal with him 50-50 because I already had created a network of people who I work with. I hope that some of you guys are my network. I see some past people who've gone to my classes where I teach at the Board of Realtors or the brokerages, and I teach about the lease agreement and how to best fill it out to protect you, the tenant, and the owner, and your brokerage. But it's so important that we create that network, and so we're going to talk about this network a little bit about what we have. I explained this part already. The smartest person isn't the one that knows everything. It's the person who knows where to find the information and apply it. It is impossible for us to know everything. That's why we have AI. And it doesn't know everything either, right? And sometimes it's wrong. We cannot be scared to tell our clients, I don't know. We have to be able to say, you know what, that's a good question. I will find out for you. I will get you the information. Because any client who expects you to know 100% is crazy too, right? And we know buyers are liars, yes? Yeah. We've heard that in the past. So it's really, really important that we get that. So let's talk about HWP, Hispanic Wealth Project, and the network that they're creating for us. We all know NAHREP, right? We know that NAHREP is designed to get generational wealth, Hispanic homeownership, education, and a lot of us really don't take advantage of that. There's also Avance, which is like a marketing arm of Expositions, a big, big event to be able to showcase NAHREP, Avance Sports, and HCA, correct? NHCA, right? To be able to put it all together so that we can have one big event and showcase and sponsor and promote each other. And then Avance Sports, which is also dedicated in much the same way that we say Hispanics, but we're saying Hispanic sports people. Now, the great thing about all these things here is that they're doing a lot of different things. The first one we all know is real estate. It's one of the original 3 pillars. They added a 4th one last year, I believe, or beginning of this year, which is the last one. But real estate, home ownership. And we understand that Hispanics have about 50% home ownership, and we want to increase that. Now, it's my belief that every single one of you in the real estate industry is the bridge to home ownership. But I think a lot of times we take home ownership transaction as a transaction. What do I mean by that? When you do a sale, most of you probably don't do any kind of follow-up. 3 months later, how's your home? What's going on? Do you know where you're supposed to make your payments? Whatever it may be, you need to be building that value with that owner. Take them for coffee. Hey, how's the noise? How's the area? Tell them about the neighborhood. Use it as an excuse to do more marketing information for yourself, to be able to talk about that neighborhood and say, I love this neighborhood because my client said X, Y, Z. Follow up with the birthday. Follow up with something else. In my class, I teach, I want to be Uncle Mark or Auntie Judy, right? Or Auntie Beatriz. Betty, sorry, Betty. Okay? Or Auntie Lourdes, right? I don't want to be a realtor. I don't want to be a transaction person. In NAHREP, we should not be a transaction person because we're building relationships here, right? I want to be the guy that went to the wedding, the bar mitzvah, the funeral, whatever it may be. And when those kids grow up with me as Uncle Mark, when they have a real estate question, they're going to say, oh, I got to talk to Uncle Mark, right? There's a different value behind being a family member to that person. To being, in my life, there are people that I've known since before I was born. I mean, they knew my mom before I was born. And they're not even family, but they're family. They're at every event, every Christmas. They're family. You wouldn't even know any better because you just grew up with them and they were always there. So you thought they were family. That's what we should be here. There isn't a reason why you don't join NAHREP and you don't have at least 3 attorneys, 3 accountants, 3 painters, 3 construction GC. There is an excuse not to have every single one of those to be able to cater to your client and make sure that they have what they need. If you don't have that, you're not taking advantage of NAHREP and HWP in regards to the networking aspect of home ownership. Then we talk about business ownership. We just saw from the presentation that they're building people in the construction industry to have a business, making sure that they can run their business during good times, during bad times, to get their license, to get the education, to be able to read the plans in Spanish. They're building a way for Hispanics to be able to own that business, to provide them the capital, to have the education to be able to use that capital, the education to be able to apply for a loan, to write out their business plan the way they need it. We have access to that information through Hispanic Wealth Project. Asset ownership. Does everybody know here their financial independence number? Does anybody know what that is? What's the financial independence number?
4 million.
Huh?
4 million.
4 million? That's your, okay, financial independence number. But what is it? I'm not asking for a number. What is it?
It's the number that it will make me independent. I don't have to work.
You don't have to work anymore at a certain age. Who wants to work at McDonald's, Burger King, Home Depot, or Walmart when they're 65 years old? Nobody? Come on. Please? A greeter. A greeter? I would love to be a host. I'd be talking to everybody. Ven, pase, por favor, dale, dale. Right? If we don't know our financial independence number, how do you get there? When you go to school, you get a syllabus, right? The syllabus says you need to take marketing class, business class, accounting class, legal class, humanities, social science. You have to do so many credits in each one, and then you graduate with your degree. We have a game plan. But most of you probably don't have a game plan to know what your financial independence number is. Have you made your Roth IRA? Have you made your traditional IRA? Have you maxed out your 401k? Are you taking advantage of the match that your company might be getting? Did you start a 529 plan or a Coverdale for your children so they can go to college? If you don't know the answer to any one of those questions, you should find out. Because you're not being a good example to the buyers and sellers that you represent, because you should be doing this and you should be teaching them that they need to go out and budget. They need to save. They need to be more mature with their money. I'll talk about that one in a second. Asset protection. Who sold a home this last month? Okay, a couple of you. Value of the home?
900,000.
900,000. Someone over here, raise your hand. 415. Someone else over here? Someone?
390.
390. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Client, you worked so hard to buy this home. You put down $30, $40, $50, $60,000 to be able to get into it. And you're almost broke now because there's no money in the bank. And God forbid, Mr. Husband dies. What is mommy going to do? Does mommy have enough money to pay that mortgage every month, or is she going to lose the house? Let's go a step further. Mommy and daddy have life insurance account. They did the right thing, but they didn't ever designate the right people to hold the money because their kids are too young. There's no will in place. Something like 80% of people don't have a will. Why work so hard to buy a home if you can't tell where you want that money to go, or where you want your kids to go, or how you want your kids to be taken care of? There are so many implications to being a realtor, and you can be that guide. You can be that answer. You have the resources through NAHREP. You have the 10 disciplines. I gave you guys the 10 disciplines. Some of them are copied here on this paper. And we're talking about all these topics. We need to be stewards of these 10 disciplines. It's not just a piece of paper that we read every once in a while. We need to live this. This is our 10 commandments. So Hispanic Wealth Project has a certified trainer. I'm one of them. I'm also now a certified, or an ambassador, where I get to oversee some certified trainers. I've got about 10 trainers that I get to oversee. So we have this program. Now, they are desperately seeking people who want to come out and train these 10 disciplines. Do you know that they give you the presentations already in Spanish, and some in Spanish, some in English? They help you with the graphics. They help me with my graphics there. I made the card myself. But talk about having a platform backed by a national organization. I know you're going to ask a question. Give me a second. So I'm going to paint a picture for you, because 60,000 members, more or less, agree? About 110, 20 chapters? There's about 110 certified trainers. That means about one for every every chapter. What do you have to do? 3 classes online, simple, a 5-minute presentation, and an interview. Pretty simple. But now when I go out there and say, I represent an organization with 60,000 members, and I'm one of 110 certified trainers that talks about the 10 disciplines to create Hispanic homeownership and generational wealth. Does that sound pretty good? Who wouldn't want to say that to people out there? When I talk about the Board of Realtors, I'm a trainer at the Board of Realtors with 60,000 members, and my class goes out to all 60,000 members so they can take my class. It's all about presentation. They don't know how good or bad I am. I know that it's a good, nice stamp of approval of Board of Realtors, because they don't just let anybody in there. But you have an opportunity to be represented by an organization and say, look, I'm on their website as a certified trainer. I'm on their website as an ambassador on a national platform. Step out of Miami. Step out of Broward. Step out of Fort Lauderdale. You got a question?
Yes, I was asking, who do you present that with?
Anywhere I can. Today I'm talking about some of the topics. When I go to the Board of Realtors and I teach, when I go to the Kai's offices and teach there, when I go to EXP, I went there, I went to Beachfront Realty, I've gone to several different brokerages and presented at their offices, and I teach about some of the disciplines. Or I can have a one-on-one and talk to people about how important it is. Wealth workshops. They are focused on workshops not only for the construction workers, but for people who own businesses. They're focused on high net worth individuals and how to be more prepared to be able to take control of your funds, to be able to take control of the things that you're doing, how to protect your funds, the asset protection. Accelerator program and boot camps, how to be a better entrepreneur. Nationwide angel investors. Gary Costa talks about this all the time. He says, we want to get money to the businesses, right? We represent something like 24% of the community, yet we only get 2% of the money. You guys are the stewards. How do we make sure that our people get there? Every single one of you guys knows a contractor, a painter, a washer of pressure cleaning, somebody. You guys can get those people in line with Sergio and start helping people become better. We're the bridge. We are the bridge. But we're not taking advantage of it. So, have a mature understanding. Let's talk about wealth for a second. If you own a home, you have a net worth of about $400,000. If you don't own a home, you have a net worth of about $10,000. If you bought a home 7, 10 years ago for $500,000, today it's worth $1 million, more or less. I got $500,000 of equity just by living in the property. That's wealth. And then if I pass away, my daughters get it, or my wife gets it. Generational wealth. So, as realtors, are we talking to our renters and saying, Mr. Renter, we got to get you out of the rental market. We got to get you in as a buyer. We need to figure out how to improve your credit. We need to figure out your balance of your budget. We need to get you saving money in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds so that when you're ready to buy, you've taken advantage of that money the most you can. Are you working with some kind of financial advisor that can do that? That should be one of the people that you're working with. My team. I have a team of people. It's not just mortgage. It's not just title. It's not just insurance. It's also financial services. It's also insurance. Who is your team and how are you taking your clients to the next step? because you have them all here in NAHREP. We're here. Top 10% of your profession. I can't tell you how many times I give a class and a person who's had 20 years experience in real estate tells me that they've been doing the lease the wrong way. One lady came in and said, I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm sure I'm not going to learn anything, but I came anyway to see. She walked out and said, Mark, I need to sit down with you because I don't know what I'm doing. How do you walk away after 20 years of doing real estate and not know what you're doing? And I'm sure you guys have seen somebody that you say, I can't believe this is a realtor. Who's seen it? Mm-hmm. Yes, every day and twice on Sunday? Yes, okay. So we need to be top 10%. But I feel like we're being mediocre. We're not doing enough. We're not representing our community. Proximity breeds success or failure. Is Mileda in here? She's hiding from me. She's hiding from me. Mileda is working with me in making sure I'm a better presenter, make sure I wear the right clothes, the right colors, right? I need to be with somebody who knows something that I can't do. She's a professional. But if I don't work with her, I'm not going to get to that next level. If you don't work with that person on insurance, you're not going to get to the next level. You know, if you don't work with the person in mortgage, you're not going to get to the next level. So you look at children. The likelihood that a child goes to college, if the parents did not go to college, 25%. If one parent went to college, 60%. And if both parents went, 80%. What do you think the likelihood of if you work with a financial advisor that you might get to financial independence? A lot better than if you didn't, right? Proximity. Being a realtor, you're more likely to be a homeowner if you're a realtor. Sitting next to a high performer, you're 15% more likely to perform better. Do you want to sit with boring, old, nagging, complaining people, or do you want to sit with high performers? I want to sit next to Mileda every day. I want to sit next to Jackie's and Lourdes, right? High performers, people who are doing, they're excelling, they're doing something different. Because if I'm not, then I am not in the right environment. So purpose, the Latino brand, right? We talk about the Latino brand. Everything I talked about today is building the Latino brand. Why? Because if we help individuals excel, if we help people get to financial independence, if we help people budget better, if we help the renter become a buyer and the buyer become an investor, are we not helping? Are we not making a change? Are we not making an impact? Horace Mann said, be ashamed to die before winning victory for mankind. What victory did you win today for our Hispanic population? If you didn't, then go back to the drawing board and figure out what you need to do. So where's the money going? If your clients are not spending the money in the right place, let's help them spend the money in the right place. The one with money has power. If you can buy the AA program, if you can get education, if you can do all these things through money, you have more power, right? Creating stability. We know that homes, the home ownership for the Hispanic family brings more stability to the household. More stability to the household. Do you guys know that stability is the equivalent of saying I love you to a child? It represents more to a child than saying I love you. Knowing where they're going to sleep, knowing where they're going to get their food, knowing where they're going to go home. Stability means love. More love at home, more stability, better education, better grades, more likelihood to succeed. Home ownership, that's the Latino brand. It's not complicated. Creating succession. Do you have a will in place? Do you have a trust in place? Who replaces you? If your business depends on you, who's next? Can you go on vacation? Are you a business owner or are you an employee, even though you're self-employed? Roadmap to success. NAHREP, Hispanic Wealth Project, gives you a roadmap. They give you a lot of opportunities to be able to draw the lines to say, this is what I need to do to be able to get to the end. You're just not taking advantage of it. And we build leaders. Builders and leaders. We build a chapter up. We bring in new leaders, We excite more people to get educated. We come out here to learn from people with AI, and that builds more leaders. It's really, really important. That's a Hispanic brand, because if we do this, our Hispanic population will flourish. But we need to be intentional about it. So what's the perfect family? They own a home. They own a business. They invest in the market. And they have protection for the things that they work hard for. The same 4 pillars, but we're just looking at it differently. So let's be the bridge. Let's connect. If you don't know an attorney, find out who knows an attorney. If you don't know a good title company, then find out who knows a good title company. If you don't know a good painter, then find out who the good painter is. If that painter is so good, introduce them to Sergio so they can become part of that organization, so they can flourish too and be a better business owner. Educate. Do you feel like you need to learn something more today? Yes?
Always.
Right? Build. How do you build? How do you encourage? How do you make someone successful? I have my ways of building. I build through the veteran community with a nonprofit. I build in an organization where I have like 80 women in a chat group, and I focus on them and making sure that they're successful. Why? Because I have 2 daughters and a wife. And so anything I want to send my daughters, I send to these ladies so that they feel successful. Serve your community. We need to serve those less fortunate and figure out how to make those less fortunate much better. And I think, if you can, take these to heart. And while in some you're strong, there are others that you might have an opportunity, right? And try to figure out how to make that opportunity stronger and how to bring somebody along with you. Thank you.